All right, our topic today is adding and subtracting surds. So we've talked about surds. Surds are those things that sit under a square root symbol or under a radical, okay? And we can combine these. So, for example, but the only things that we can combine are like surds. And like surds, remember when we talked about like terms in algebra? Like terms are those things that have the same pronumeral raised to the same power. Like surds, the same idea, it has to be the same number under the radical or under the surd. So for example, square root of 3, that's obviously a surd. This one, 5 square roots of 3, they have the same number under the radical. Now it might not be quite as obvious as you think. For example, let's say the square root of 12, those don't look like surds. But if we simplify the square root of 12, which we now know how to do, that is, we take the biggest square factor out that we can, which would be 4. And this becomes the square root of 4 times the square root of 3, which is equal to 2 square roots of 3. And you see that those are like surds. What if we had some number like, let's say, 2 square roots of 45? Is that a like surd? Yes, it is. What's the biggest square factor I can take out over there? Well, I can take out 9. Oh, maybe it's not the same. No, it's not the same. Why? Because let's try 15 instead. Okay? How about 2 square roots of 15? Because with 45, I'd take out 9, and then I'd still have the square root of 5. Those would not be like surds. But what can I do here? I can take out, actually, with that one I can't take out anything either. So we're just going to leave this. This is not a like surd. Can't do anything with that. Now, here's the trick. If we have like surds, the same number under the radical, then we can add and subtract them just like we did with like terms in algebra. So, for example, 2 square roots of 3 plus 4 square roots of 3. Remember, that's just 2 lots of the root 3 plus 4 lots of the square root of 3. And all we have to do is add the first 2 numbers together. 2 and 4 is 6, and we get 6 times the square root of 3. We can do this even if we have a longer chain of numbers. Let's try 4 root 6 minus or plus 3 root 2 minus 3 root 6 plus 2 root 2. Now you notice that not all of those are the same. This is root 6, this is root 6, and then this is root 2 and root 2. So these we can add together, or in this case subtract. 4 root 6, remember that the minus goes with the number after it. 4 root 6 take away 3 root 6 gives me just root 6. And then we have 3 root 2 plus 2 root 2 gives me 5 root 2. And that's how we do those. Now, the main thing, one of the things that you need to keep in mind before you do this is you always need to simplify the surds first. So, for example, 5 root 2 plus root 8. Now, initially we would look at that and say, well, they're not like surds. However, we need to simplify all of our surds first. So this, root 8, can be simplified to what? Well, we think about what's the biggest square factor that I can take out, and I can take out 4. So we get 5 root 2 plus, this is root 4, root 2, 4 times 2 is 8, and then we say, well, what is the square root of 4? 2. So we're left with 5 root 2 plus 2 root 2. Now we have like surds, so we can add them together. Which gives me 5 and 2 is 7, root 2. We'll use one more example. Let's use something slightly more complicated. How about this? 2 root 5 minus 3 root 20 plus 6 root 45. Now remember our rule, we simplify all of our surds first. Is this one as simplified as it can be? Yes. 5 is a prime number, or excuse me, a non-square number with no square roots, square factors, excuse me. 20, though, is there a number over there that I can divide out evenly? Yes, 4. So this becomes 3 root 4 root 5. 3 times root 4 times root 5 plus, what about 45? What can I divide out over there? I can divide out 9. So I get 6 root 9 root 5. Now, 2 root 5 minus square root of 4 is 2 times 3 is 6 root 5 plus the square root of 9 is 3 times 6 is 18 root 5. Now what do I have? I have 3 common surds, and I can add and subtract those. 2 take away 6 is minus 4 plus 18 is 14 root 5. And that is adding and subtracting surds.